Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and on today's Action Figure Showcase, we're going to take a look at my Hulk Hogan collection. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said, today we're going to take a look at my Hulk Hogan collection, and I know a lot of people have Hulk Hogan fatigue and feel like we're getting them all the time, but I feel like when I went through my collection, I really didn't have as many Hulk Hogans as I expected, and maybe that's just because we've gotten a lot in such a short amount of time. Like Mattel's kind of playing catch up, trying to get all of their Hulk Hogan figures out, but I did want to take a look at my collection. I don't try to pick up every single one, but I do try to pick up when it's maybe a little bit different look or like style. So not gonna waste any more time, let's get to it. First off here is going to be the first figure we did get of Hulk Hogan from Mattel, and that was in the Defining Moments line. I'm pretty sure that was the first one. It was a pretty big deal then. It is a throwback to his like 80s look. And the only difference here is that I did swap heads with the WrestleMania basic we got recently. It had the red bandana. I know I still have like the little yellow, I don't even know if you want to call it bandana, the like ribbon he wore on his head. But when this came out, I love this figure. I thought it was really good. They've come a long way since then. This one had the rubber jacket. It had that belt that I'm pretty sure only Hulk Hogan held. And obviously we've got the old tan skin tone, but I thought this was a great start for Mattel. Next up is the Hogan from the Coliseum collection, the Ultimate Edition that we just got. And one of the things with Hogan that is giving people fatigue is that he's essentially just a repaint over and over. He either is getting a repaint or he's just getting a different t-shirt. They've given him different head scans every now and then, but for most people, I don't even know if I want to say most people. For a lot of people that I see in the community, they want something else besides just a new head scan, just a new shirt. But this one is way different than any other Hogans that we have. He's got the white Hulk shirt, obviously, the red tights, and I don't know if this is based on an actual look or if it was just from the figure that he had. I think these are all based on the old LJNs, which I didn't collect. That was before even my collecting time. Like, I had some Hasbros. I mostly had Jakks Titantron Live is what I started with. Had some Bone Crunchers, and then Ruthless Aggression Era was when my collecting like really grew. But I think this Hogan is cool because it's different, and especially with all the yellow and red that we get, the white and red I think was a cool look for him. Next up we have the Ultimate Edition San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Rip from No Holds Barred, and obviously this is Hulk Hogan. It's from the No Holds Barred movie, and it came in the 2-pack with Zeus, which I was making a custom for Zeus when they announced this, scrapped it, didn't even look at it again. I love this 2-pack. I think it's a really cool 2-pack. The Hogan, obviously, this is another one that's completely different. He's technically not Hulk Hogan in this 2-pack, which I think is cool. It gives him that different look. I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a Thunder Lips from the Rocky movie at some point. But this movie, if you haven't seen it, it's interesting. Just looking at reviews, you can tell I think people are very nostalgic about it. It's got an 81% online from users, Google users, but then it's got a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 4.4 on IMDb. So if you're a fan of Hogan, if you're a fan of corny wrestling movies, check this out. Otherwise, just check out this figure. I think the figure's awesome. It's got the Ultimate Edition body and everything, which I think fits Hogan really well. I like it more than that like real thick torso they give him, which we'll see in a second. But overall, I like the figure. I like the heads that came with this. I like all the different hands they gave us. I thought this was an awesome exclusive. Next up here is another Ultimate Edition, and we have the Hulk Hogan that came in the wave with Mr. T. So they're matching outfits from, I think this is WrestleMania 1, not WrestleMania 2. WrestleMania 1, yeah. But again, this is basically the same thing as that No Holds Barred figure. Same formula and everything. It's just, this is what we talk about with the repaints. Not really anything different. It does, I think the head scans might be a tad different, We got like 3 or 4 with each, which is awesome. I love the belt. Overall, I think this is one of the best Hogans they've given us. I really like the likeness to all the scans. I think the belt is awesome. I like that it came in the same wave as Mr. T. I think those look really nice together. I love having them on my shelf. I put this Hogan right next to Mean Gene so he can tell me something whenever he wants to. And if I had to suggest any of the Hogans that I have, I'd say go grab this one. From there, we're going to go into the Elite 96 Hogan, and this is the one that is an Elite, and I picked this up on Black Friday from Ringside, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, one of those deals, and this one is one, I don't know if we necessarily needed it. It came with the, like, war bonnet, and it came with some interesting accessories, which I thought it was cool. At the same time, though, like, without those accessories, it's just another Hogan. It does have that big torso that the Defining Moments one did, and it's in the updated, like, orange skin tone. So some differences there that I think are enough. It just depends on how you display. I think it's a good Hogan figure. It's just the fact that we have so many. I have mine posed with the Hulk Rules bandana. I really like that bandana look. And then I do like this head scan. I think this was I don't think we've gotten this head scan since. I'm pretty sure this was just unique for Elite 96, but I like that kind of crazy look. I gave him the pointing finger, the winged eagle belt, and again, Hogan I like, but not everyone's going to be, not for everyone. Next up here, you can see, obviously, it's not just Hogan on the stand. This is something that I was really excited about when we got the Fan Takeover Ultimate. I can't even remember what figures we'd all gotten, but this one, I think this Fan Takeover Ultimate was the first time we got the orange skin tone, and it came with the black eye from WrestleMania 9. And I, as a kid, thought the WrestleMania 9 was so cool because it was at Caesar's Palace. Everyone's wearing togas. I had that on VHS. I watched that thing until it wouldn't rewind anymore. I just watched the hell out of that tape. And I like every wrestler on there, the Steiners, the Head Shrinkers, Shawn Michaels, Tatanka. I think I was very nostalgic about that whole event. I can tell you all the attires they had. So back in the day, I had the Mega Maniacs 2-pack, which came with this Jimmy Hart figure. It came with Brutus Beefcake, and it came with Hulk Hogan. They were in their matching attires because they had teamed up to fight Money Inc. And at that time, Brutus Beefcake had a face mask because he was in his parasailing accident or whatever. Hogan had his black eye. It's just a weird time. Hogan obviously would come back at the end of the show to ruin what many people thought was one of the worst WrestleManias. But for me to have this Hogan to pair with this Brutus Beefcake, and then I still have this Jax Jimmy Hart, was very nostalgic, very heartwarming for me, and I love this trio right here. Speaking of the aforementioned WrestleMania 9 main event when Hulk Hogan crashed, I decided to do a bit of a fix-up custom here. So I had picked up an extra Ultimate Takeover and swapped it on to the Hall of Champions Hulk Hogan that we got. So wanted to give him that same look because this shot of him pointing at the belt after he screwed over Bret Hart and Yokozuna with his own politics is, I don't know if I want to say iconic. When people talk about Hulk Hogan and his power trips and his politics, this is always a picture that comes up. So we've got the Ultimate Torso, got him pointing to the belt. He's got his black eye, and then he's got the ripped shirt hanging off his belt. I do have his weight belt on there, but I used a cloth shirt so that I could drape it over the belt after he ripped it off. And regardless of what you think of the moment, this was something I wanted on my shelf, and I'm happy to have it. So after WrestleMania 9, Hogan would eventually lose the belt to Yokozuna not too long after, and then he took his break. He wound up in WCW. So with the crowdfunder, we saw our Hulk Hogan. Everyone was like, what the hell? We've talked about the crowdfunder. Plenty of people have talked about the crowdfunder. But here are my WCW Hogans. And obviously this one with the shirt, with the tie-dye shirt, well, tie-dye, whatever you want to call it, and long tights is the Legends figure. And I did swap the Ultimate Torso, so it's got the updated orange and everything. But then the other one is my Hulk Hogan WCW custom from 2 years ago. And I got a Hulkster shirt from Threadhead, and I used the Defining Moments body that we originally got. So I used those legs. I got the Ultimate. I got an extra NWO Hogan Ultimate. I swapped that torso on. I swapped the arms at the biceps so that he had the wristbands. And I essentially had that WCW Hulk Hogan already. Like I said, Hulk Hogan had a lot of different shirts. Like kind of with how John Cena would go through all his shirts all the time. And then we'd get a new figure. But at least John Cena had different colored shorts or shoes or like... It was different. These Hogan figures, especially that crowdfunder, it just wasn't far enough of a reach for me to think that I needed that Hogan figure because I just replicated it pretty relatively easy. It's not like the same skin tone, same head scan, but at the same time, I was disappointed. The Legends figure I do really, really like. I think it looks really cool. It's a different look. Like, we don't have a lot of long pants Hogans besides like when he was in the Ruthless Aggression era. So that was a figure I was excited for when they announced, but at the same time, having that coming out at the same time as the crowdfunder was an odd choice, especially when you could still pick these up in stores relatively easy. Next up are my WCW NWO Hogans, and every Hogan that I can, if I get the chance, I turn it into an Ultimate. I think that's like the best torso choice for him. I really like both of these, and one is obviously the original Ultimate Edition we were supposed to get of Hogan, which we almost never got. Obviously, all that stuff with Hogan, most people know about. I'm not going to get into detail about it. I was excited to get this figure. We didn't have an NWO Hulk Hogan. It was pretty easy for me to have a custom of this. I did. I think I had a couple different customs of NWO Hogan, but then we also have the Wolfpack ringside exclusive, which they've slowly put out ringside exclusives that are just NWO Wolfpack. We've got Macho Man. We've got Hogan now. We've got Hall. What did we get? Scott Hall in the Wolf? Can't remember. Well, Sting. That's who I was thinking of. Got him in his Wolfpack attire, but we've got the Lex Luger. So they've been kind of filling in spots with the Wolfpack. At the same time, the NWO had so many people. Like there's like a never-ending amount of NWO members they could give us, but they've really been hitting on like the big names in there, so that's been cool. But I really like we got special sculpts for the hands that have like the sculpted on gloves with this ringside exclusive. The bandana's a little bit different, and overall like we got the white boots too, so it looks different enough. I was really happy. I was really excited to own both of these. So after that one, these are both customs fix up. What Elite was that? Elite 91 maybe Hogan with the like RVD in the set. So that was the first Ruthless Aggression Hulk we got, and I did want to fix that up a little bit. So I do have two of them. One of them is right here. This is the one I kind of put the most into. It's got the Ultimate Takeover torso with that orange update. I did have a custom a long time ago that I did of this, so these boots aren't entirely accurate, but they're different. I just gave him yellow boots because in my head, for some reason, I was thinking his boots were yellow, and then going back, like his boots more were red with just a lot of yellow flames, and I think I just didn't pay like that close of attention to detail. But at the same time, I'm sure he wore those yellow boots out somewhere. So the boots, again, not entirely accurate, but they differentiate a little bit, which I was looking for. I've got the Hulkamania shirt from Threadhead, got his belt on there, threw a knee brace on, and this is like my perfect Hulk Hogan, like that early Ruthless Aggression, Undisputed Era Hulk Hogan. And then obviously the other one is the Hollywood Hogan, and a long time ago, within like this year, one of my unboxings, I bought a lot of fodder from eBay, and one of them was just the Hulk Hogan torso, which I had swapped things, so I literally just needed a torso, and it worked out to where I swapped the Elite 96 torso onto the Hollywood Hogan Elite that we got, because they give him that stupid skinny torso for some reason. I don't know why I could get over it if they gave him a crotch piece that fit, but they make him too skinny, and that is the one thing that really bothers me with the Hogan Elites, is that they make him too skinny up top. But I swapped this torso, and it is maybe a little big, but at the same time, he had his his old man lifting gut, so I didn't hate it, and it works for me. I like that a lot more than what we got from the official release. Then last but not least is another Ruthless Aggression Hulk, and this is the Elite 91 again, but I kept it a little more true to form with the boots there. You can see he's got the yellow, got his face on the side, and then the head, I'm pretty sure this is just the head that we had. I can't remember. We've gotten these heads a few times. Sometimes we get them without the beard, so I've got the beard and bandana here, and then I swapped his torso because, again, this was the skinny torso. This was when he won the championships with Edge, and if you just put them next to each other, he's not even that much bigger than Edge with that skinny torso. So I gave him his Defining Moments torso, beefed him up a little bit. They've got the tag belts, and this was an iconic Ruthless Aggression moment. For a bit, it was just a pretty cool image to see Hogan and Edge winning championships together, which I mean, I thought was really cool. I was a huge Edge fan as a kid. Still am a huge fan of Edge, but seeing him and Hogan win the belts together was a pretty surreal moment. So to finish everything up, here's a picture of everyone all lined up together, and we're getting more Hogans. There's more Hogans on the way already that are like just anticipating release. I'm the Desert Storm or whatever Hogan that's coming out. That's a cool one because it's not in ring gear. It looks completely different than any Hogan we've gotten. I'm still waiting on the workout Hulk Hogan. We were supposed to get that in a 2-pack, and I don't know who it was supposed to be with, like John Cena or something. But he had on his like workout tights, his workout headband. So I'm surprised we haven't gotten that yet. I don't know if they're gonna do an Elite, but they're obviously not shy about making Hogan. So we're gonna get more. I'm probably gonna buy them all up. If anything, like I say, I'll wait till Black Friday, buy them cheap on Ringside. But I like my collection so far. Looking forward to adding more. If you like the showcase, go check out some more. I have plenty on my channel. This is the last week that you have to enter the giveaway for the channel. I had a 500 subscriber giveaway that I had posted. I will continue taking people's submissions to be in that, and then this Friday I will select the winner. So go ahead, go back, do that. If you have questions, reach out on Instagram. Like, share, subscribe. I always appreciate it. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures. Figure Dude out.